Hello, Paul Hamilton here. We're going to look at creating an infographic for Australia Day. So we're going to look at some Australiana type statistics and then we're going to put it in an infographic, and great activity to get the kids, get your teachers doing as well, putting statistics and data in a really accessible type format. So let's have a look. First thing I want to draw your attention to is the Australian Bureau of Stats, and a fantastic website. You can see the headlines coming across, absolutely brilliant. Get your kids to actually navigate and explore this website, and you will find some of the most impressive statistics, really up to date, current, ready to whack into your infographic. So I'm going to draw your attention to that first, because I think this is a really good starting point for kids to take some notes with pen and paper, post-its, digitally, whatever you need to. Get them on here first and then jump into Canva. Canva is a fantastic app. We can really get started into creating some fantastic visuals. New app, Australian company, doing some wonderful things in the design area, and I'm going to show you a really quick look. So here I've done a quick look at what it's going to kind of end up like. I haven't put in all the data, but just showing you how to create really creative and interesting infographics. So let's go back and I'll start you off. So I'm going to select, let's select the graphic up here. It's quite long, rectangular. It will really get us started with our infographic and look really great. I'm going to jump straight into backgrounds. If you haven't checked out Canva before, really worth grabbing. I'm going to jump into, I'll get nice black background for my infographic, make it really pop. And then I'm going to jump into layouts here, and up the top I'm just going to press on the search button there, and then I'm going to leave it, because what we've got there is infographics. You can see it's about halfway down in the pink, and I can start pulling across some really good visuals for my infographic. So I'm just going to grab this one here. Haven't done a heading. You can see there when I drag across, I can play around with the transparency up and down, which could also be really effective, but I can also have a play around with the color. Now this is an Australiana type infographic for Australia Day. Going to go yellow. Then I'm going to start to explore some of the different infographics. I might bring in this one here. This kind of suits my color palette that I'm using here. Make it a little bit smaller. I love that when I drag across, it gives me these little centered gauges, that sort of thing. Let's have a look for some other things that we can apply to our Australiana infographic. Well, there's Australia. That's looking really good. I might apply a little bit of a yellow there. Actually, let's go with a bit more green. That's looking great. Make it a bit smaller. I'll tell you why in a minute. And what I really want to do with my infographic is I want to encourage my students to be creative. I want to encourage them to actually think outside the square a little bit. So I'm going to have a look here for a graphic that I wouldn't normally use. Here it is here. It's a little fraction, 3/4 type graphic that I can use. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a bit smaller, and I'm going to rotate it so it looks like it's eating Australia, so I can actually use my visuals to actually represent something a little bit deeper. I'm trying to develop those higher level thinking skills, and this could be something to do with, I don't know, something to do with the environment that's being cut down by 50% or something like that. Then I can start to bring in some of my percent and some of my data. I might bring in this guy here and actually bring it across, have a little bit of a look at my coloring, and might apply a bit of a green to that, and I can really start to bring in some impressive visuals to my infographic to do with Australia, to do with maybe possibly immigration, to do with population growth, those sort of things. So as you can see there, really easy way of creating infographics quickly that focuses on the data and the statistics more than the actual skills to be able to create it. So Paul Hamilton here, signing off. Hope you got something out of this quick tutorial to do with statistics, data, and creating infographics, maybe for the start of the school year in Australia, maybe for Australia Day. I hope you found it beneficial.